Guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to fight at home. First and foremost, who am I? I have had 3 fights so far. I've won all of them. I had 2 kickboxing fights and 1 taekwondo fight. In my first 2 kickboxing fights, I won in technical knockout, and I was supposed to be a pro fighter, but I chose not to be a pro fighter because at the time I still had school. I still had all of my responsibilities in there. I still had responsibilities in my home, and that, well, I'm gonna be honest, I love fighting. Yeah, I love fighting. It feels good, but it doesn't pay as much, right? So this is how to fight at home from an actual, well, fighter. First and foremost, you're gonna have to learn these 4 basic punches: the jab, the straight, the hook, the uppercut. These jab, straight, hook, and then the uppercut. What you really have to understand is that you already know the basic punches. You know the motion. Like 2 of them are like straight punches. And then the one is, well, a round punch, and the next one is a punch coming from below. Now, the functions of these are not the same. The jab is used to probe. What does probe mean, actually? Probe actually means to garner a reaction from your opponent. So, like doing this, like when you saw in my second fight. In my second fight, I was putting my arm out there, which is the jabbing hand. I was probing to see what would be his reaction. Other than probing, it can also be used for distance management. And I'm not going to talk about how to throw a good jab, how to throw a good straight, how to throw a hook, how to throw an uppercut. I actually have a school community about all of that, about how to fight at home. You're going to learn a lot about techniques, you're going to learn about workouts, bonus modules in there, like every single thing. All of my 3 years of combat experience are in that course, right? So if you want to learn more about how to fight at home, well, you can do that course. And the link is in the description. There are very different uses for that, in a fight. So first is the jab, or you can probe with the jab, right? Another use of the jab is to disrupt an opponent, especially if you're in an orthodox stance. An orthodox stance basically means your left hand will be at the front while the back hand is the right hand. It's used to disrupt an opponent when he's coming in, used to garner distance, like what I've said. Anyways, there's a lot more for the jab, but it's the most important punch, right? That's a different video. But I really go into a lot more details in the course, so just buy the course. Anyways, let's go straight into the video. The next one is the straight. The straight is used for basically damage. Straight is used for damage, but it can also be a feint, right? Like who did that against Buakaw? I forgot who did that against Buakaw, but basically he feinted here and then he went to the straight. In this clip, you could clearly see that he was faking that straight, so it would load up the hook, and then the legend Buakaw himself got dropped. That's what I was talking about. That's what he did. Now, next is the hook. What's the hook used for? When the guy's guard is up, right, you can go to the hook here, go hook here. And then uppercut, what's the uppercut used for? When the guy has a Dutch guard, basically means if he's here, right, he's up here, Yes, he's covered on both sides, here and here, but he's not covered in here, in uppercuts. So this is basically where uppercuts go. These are the targets of the uppercuts. That's all good and dandy. Now we all know the uses, and then if you buy my course, we know how to do the techniques. But how do we actually train this? We train this by shadow boxing. What is shadow boxing? Shadow boxing is punching air. It feels weird at first. It's gonna feel weird. That's normal. Everything feels weird at first. Like learning how to do the bicycle, learning how to play the piano, learning how to play the guitar. It's going to feel hard. It's going to feel weird at first. But once you get the hang of it, it's gonna feel pretty easy, pretty natural. That's why you're going to see a lot of boxers do that with their loved ones. I actually do that a lot with somebody I love. You're going to shadow box using the jab, straight, hook, and then the uppercut. Combinations, you do you, right? You see what works. Does the jab, uppercut, hook, straight combo work? Does the jab, hook, straight work? Does it feel natural for my body? Does the uppercut, how natural does an uppercut feel for me, right? Right? And if you're going to use this for a fight, which I don't want you to, but if you do, well, you're gonna have to add some head movement to it because you're going to have to dodge punches. So how does head movement work? You're here, you're there, here, you're there, here, there, slipping. Basic slipping. You're upright, straight, hands up, right, and then you slip to the right, and then you slip to the left. Slip to the right, slip to the left. Why do we do that? We slip because we want to dodge punches, right? I'm gonna teach you guys this. The slip, slip, and the roll. Basic boxing, right? Basic fighting. Slip, slip, roll. The idea of that is if someone throws a jab, straight, hook, you slip the jab. You slip the cross, roll under the hook. That's the slip, slip, roll. Now, you add that slip, slip, slip into your shadow boxing. How might you add that? Maybe you jab straight, you do that, and then you slip, and then you roll. Or maybe you jab while you're slipping, and then you roll back, and then you throw straight, right? Or that's how you learn how to fight at home. Now, if you actually want to improve just using these 4 punches, I recommend shadow boxing 2 minutes, and I recommend shadow boxing 5 rounds, 2-minute rounds, and a 30-second break. It's going to push you a lot, but you're going to learn how to fight. I'm going to first explain what a round is and what, a round is basically seconds, right? Seconds. Seconds in a fight, seconds in sparring, seconds in shadow boxing, seconds in doing all of these things. A round is different from a set because in a set there are reps, but in a round there is only time. That's the differentiator between a round and a set. So now that you know that, you should do 5 rounds, 2-minute rounds, 30-second breaks. So after 2 minutes of shadow boxing, you take a break for 30, and then you go again. That's how you do it.